Well, welcome back to a very special program. We were looking at Madhya Pradesh in the last segment. What are people thinking about key factors ahead of the elections? We're going to turn our attention now to Chhattisgarh. But before we do that, it's interesting to look once again at the methodology of what's happened in Chhattisgarh. How has it actually been done by CSDS? Sanjay is going to fill us in on that. But in terms of when the poll was done, the 24th to the 30th of October, the constituencies covered were 25. The sample size, 2,541. What were some of the methods which you used across the state?
Nothing different, Vishnu. If you look at the days, the survey was conducted in the same time period in Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh. We had a smaller sample in Chhattisgarh compared to Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan because Chhattisgarh is a slightly smaller state, 90 constituencies, so we picked up a smaller sample. But again, the methodology remains the same, randomized sample and a face-to-face interview. As I said earlier, this is the strength of this survey.
All right, we're going to quickly move on now. First up, let's look at the theme of performance, the performance of the Baghel government in Chhattisgarh. So the question which was asked is, how do you rate the Baghel government's performance? 34% said that they were fully satisfied. 45% said that they were somewhat satisfied. 9% said that they were somewhat dissatisfied. 10% said that they were entirely dissatisfied. So between fully satisfied and somewhat satisfied, that is a huge number in favor of the Baghel government's performance. How do you rate the central government's performance? 42% said fully satisfied, 38% said somewhat, 11% said somewhat dissatisfied, and 6% said that they were entirely dissatisfied. How do you rate the Baghel government on performance in specific areas? Let's look at the state of the roads. 56% said things were better, 27% said things were worse. Electricity, 64% said electricity was better off, 17% said things were worse. Drinking water, 53% said drinking water availability had gone up, 53% said it had improved, 26% said it had worsened. The state of government hospitals, 56% said things had improved, 22% said they had worsened. Government schools, 64% said things had improved, 17% said things had become worse. The condition of tribals, which is a critical factor in the state, 45% said things had improved, 21% said things had worsened. In terms of dealing with Naxal insurgency, which has been a problem over here for the last decade and a half at a very high level, 30% said things had improved, 22% said in fact things had not improved. The condition of farmers, 61% said farmers, their condition had improved, 20% had said no. We're going to move on, take a look at the condition, which government has worked more for women. 18% said the state government, 29% said the center, 39% said both. No one really worked for women, 7%. The state of inflation, similar to what we've been asking in other states, 76% said that inflation has gone up, 10% said it's remained the same, 12% said that it's decreased. The state of unemployment, 40% say that unemployment in the last 5 years has gone up, 20% say that it has remained the same, 35% say that it's actually decreased. The state of corruption, 62% say that it's gone up. Now, this is interesting because if it's gone up and yet in terms of governance, people saying that this government has done well. So 62% say it's increased, 21% say it's decreased, 13% say that it has remained. Let me just quickly go across to the BJP at this stage and try to get a quick response over there from Pratyush. The performance of the Baghel government remains strong, Pratyush. 74% are either fully satisfied or satisfied, either fully satisfied or satisfied. So some would suggest no real anti-incumbency here at all. Does this indicate that people are still happy here with the change that happened in 2018 when the Congress came to power after what, a 15-year-old rule by the BJP?
You know, Rahul Gandhi came there when they were fighting the election and gave 316 promises. Not one has been fulfilled. Not one. You will be surprised to know that the Modi government offered that we'll give 6,000 rupees to the farmers. They could not verify the farmers till date about the scams. Alcohol scam worth 2,000 crore, PDS scam worth 6,000 crore, coal scam worth 2,000 crore, forest department scam worth 4,000 crore. The scam is endless. And now to add to all that, we have got this betting scam where the chief is directly involved. This is what I was trying to make a point. I did not get time that time. That in Madhya Pradesh, in the contrast, you see a double engine government working. Modi as well as Chauhan's government. So you will be surprised to see that so many, 71 lakh women get houses there, 5.8 crore family, 5.18 lakh families get corona time rations there, 6.25 lakh girls get married, 11 lakh people are given loans between 5,000 to 50,000 to small businesses, 3,600 crore given to old people as pension. So something that transforms on the ground is what gets you vote. In Baghel's government, they were using all the advertisements and doling out stuff what Kejriwal was doing in Delhi. And now, when the election was round the corner and people started realizing, oh, there are scams after scams, and seeing what is happening in Karnataka,
okay, we look at scams because they have
of cash.
The Congress has allegations on the BJP as well. But hold on, let me get a reaction. You've raised lots of points. Sujata Paul, how would you actually respond to a couple of points saying that there's corruption, there are other issues, and you have not delivered on key programs?
Well, the BJP spokesperson cannot complete a sentence or begin his statement without talking about Rahul Gandhi ji and attacking him. However, when we talk about the BJP government has ignored all its local leaders in every state. And when they talk about what they have delivered, it is only corruption and the way they treated the Dalits in Chhattisgarh. However, in the Gramin Bhumihin Nyay Yojana, we have given money to people. So when people who have been landless find that they are getting leases and they are going to get leases if they haven't, and they are getting money into their accounts, it speaks for itself and people speak. It is not Mr. Modi who will speak from the center. Now, when you are talking about the paddy, the highest price of paddy is being given to farmers of Chhattisgarh, where it will soon be 2,800 rupees per quintal. Can the BJP match up with it? No, they can't. Now, because of this increased MSP and the input subsidy which they are getting, which the farmers are getting under the Rajiv Gandhi Kisan Nyay Yojana, farmers will start getting even higher prices after some time in the next term, which will be 3,600 per quintal. Can they match up to it? No, they can't. Now, as far as the cow dung is concerned, we know that there was about 2,80,000 quintals of cow dung, which was purchased in Godhans in the second fortnight of July itself this year. So can they match up to it?
All right, so we'll have to wait and see. One sec, I see you've got your entire list over there, but I've got my entire list of graphics as well. The condition, Manisha, and this is a question for you, the condition of tribals has clearly improved, but smaller parties can upset the tribal vote, some would suggest. And if that happens, then the calculations of bigger parties could be affected. For example, the tribal leader Arvind Netam resigned from the Congress. He's formed his own political party. Is this a factor?
No, I mean, I would say across the two states, the tribal votes seem to be aligned and inclined more towards the Congress, and very clearly so. So under these circumstances, the smaller parties have a lesser role. As much as you have one leader who's gone over. There's also Kantilal Bhuria ji in Madhya Pradesh. So what I see is a very clear alignment in Chhattisgarh, which is a pro-Raman Singh alignment across various bars and graphs, including the issue of tribals. But certainly, so barring the corruption issue, which seems to be the real charge, so the BJP, if it has to get back onto Raman Singh, corruption seems to be the real handle by which they can take him. Now, the issue is whether they can create a statewide movement which can cut across the different classes and layers And certainly to take away the scheduled tribe votes, will corruption be a factor for scheduled tribe voters? Now that would be the question to ask. Now if not, then the BJP will have to match corruption with certain pockets that are strategically targeted towards the scheduled tribes. So the only way the BJP can get it back is merging corruption against charges against Raman Singh government with some focus on the scheduled tribe. That's the way to take it back.
Shankar,
And interestingly, I don't see the woman issue playing up as much in Chhattisgarh as it did in Madhya Pradesh.
We'll try and come back to that as well, bring up that data. But Shankar, on farmer issues, 61% say that the condition of farmers is actually improved. Is this a thumbs up for the farm loan waiver, for example, which was announced by the Congress in 28? The entire issue of raising the minimum support price for farmers is, is that what this is all about?
I think it's a combination of factors, the land lease arrangements that are being made, at least promised. There's also the fact that, giving minimum support price at these high levels has assuaged some of the farmer distress. It might also be contributing to some of the inflation there. And overall, because if procurement prices keep going up like this, it is going to visit another part of the economy. Nothing in the economy is a free lunch. So I think what the data and the slides reflect, Vishnu, is that there has been greater attention to the bottom of the pyramid in Chhattisgarh, and that seems to be paying off.
All right. We're going to move on now, take a quick look at the next set of graphics where we're looking at issues, the key issues in the state. And the first question that we need to look at is, what is the most important election issue? Perhaps the most fundamental of all issues over here. 28% say unemployment, 14% say price rise, 12% say poverty, 8% say drinking water, 6% say a lack of development, 6% say farmer distress, 26% say other issues. How important are the following issues is what we've posed, and we raised this and we asked. Cow protection, 71% said that cow protection is an important issue. Reservation, 61%. The recruitment exam scam, 52% said this is very important. The issue of Naxalism in the state, 31% said it remains a very big issue. Should Chhattisgarh hold a caste census? 67% said yes. 19% said no. 14% said that they cannot say at this stage. So let's just look at some of the issues over here. Manisha, 71% say cow protectionism is important for them. In terms of the Hindutva agenda, as it were, is Baghel actually on a stronger wicket here than other Congress states, from various cow protection schemes to the renovation of the Mata Kaushalya temple, etc., etc. There's a lot which this government has actually done for that cause. So is this something that the Congress may be turning the tables on the BJP on?
So the Narwa Ghurwa program, really, where you're able to buy back at 2 rupees a kg, the Kaushalya Van Gaman Path, etc., and portraying the image of, Baghel as a Chhattisgarhia, but also a Bhanja, because Kaushalya was supposed to be belonging to this area. So they're all now portraying the tricks that were used by the BJP earlier. And remember, I don't know why Shivraj Singh is unable to do that this time now. He's been one of those who's been able to merge the Ram issue with the farmer issue very successfully in the past. Now this time around, you see some of those lessons being done in another neighboring state, the state of Chhattisgarh, by Raman Singh. But what he's definitely done is, and that is the caste census issue, and you can see that the polity is moved towards the more towards the mandal type parameters, a certain definite OBC image, which has been merged with, coming together of the religious icons. So no problems here between having a religious image or icon, being an OBC leader and being a farmer leader.
Sure.
So that merger is a unique proposition for the state of Chhattisgarh, which until now with the BJP had been under the rule of the mostly the forward caste. So one would see that Chhattisgarh once again, just like Bihar, etc., won't be able to turn the tide on this and say that let's be in the pre-Mandal era.
Right.
And I would say that the caste domination moving towards the bottom of the pyramid, towards the socially marginalized caste, political leadership going there, that seems to be a change in the Chhattisgarh polity now.
I'm also joined by my colleague Sunil Prabhu. Sunil, a couple of issues, and I want to talk about corruption once again. There's the entire issue of the Mahadev app, which is broken. There have been very strong allegations made by the BJP against the Congress. Then significantly there is, in terms of our data, Sunil, 52% say that the recruitment exam scam was a problem. In fact, Raman Singh has been talking about corruption across the board: coal mining, liquor, trade, betting. Is this where the Congress could be weak?
Well, yes and no, because as you rightly show in that survey, the deep level of satisfaction. It's Chhattisgarh is a little bit more nuanced state. It's a little bit more different, and as you know, it's primarily agrarian. And the crux of the matter is the fact that in the state where nobody's talking about, for example, the loan waiver that the Congress has done. That's become an emotive issue, which the BJP hasn't been able to do so. If you really look and analyze the BJP manifesto, it's ahead of the Congress manifesto, which will be released tomorrow. Competitive populism is taking place. 3,100 is what Mr. Amit Shah announced as the per quintal for the farmers. The Congress is expected to release that manifesto tomorrow, and what we have been told is it will be 3,600. This is primarily aimed at gaining voters, so it's definitely something that we have to take into account. It's clearly corruption is an issue. It's definitely an issue, but as you have seen across the states, how much it will make an impact in rural areas is something that we will have to wait and watch. It's definitely an urban issue, but whether it gets translated into agrarian as well as in the rural society is anybody's guess.
Pratyush, would you like to come in? Would you say that corruption is perhaps the one issue that the BJP is really banking on? 52% say the recruitment exam scam was a problem. Now this Mahadev app business?
You see, for us in the BJP, it's all about development. Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has totally made it clear that we have to go with a very positive report card to the people of all these 5 states where elections are taking place. Corruption is a very big issue. If the government is corrupt, it will directly going to hit the development of the state. Now look at Baghel's corruption story. It starts from forest scam, coal scam, PDS, alcohol, you name it, they have a scam. They are linked with all kind of scamsters. See, you are all forgetting one thing, that Narendra Modi government has managed to pull the people of all these states. Narendra Modi factory is a very big factory in all the states. The chief ministers, Baghel is banking on the people he is getting money to pay. This huge amount of cash which is being moved why is it being moved? It is being moved because he knows that he has lost the ground from within his feet. He has to pay to people to win election. In our case, we are very clear. We will give a program, we'll tell what we are going to do, and our promises are delivered. It's not like Rahul Gandhi's promises that he comes and gives those promises. All these things are being watched very closely by people of Chhattisgarh. And let me tell you, my Karyakartas who are there in Chhattisgarh are every day giving us an update that Baghel is running for the whole thing because he thinks that he can bank on all the money which he has made through all these people. He has a network of corruption which was working there.
Okay, let's just get a quick
we are trying to break that network and go to people with developmental issues.
Let's, Sujata, 30 seconds to reply. I want to go to the big issue of faces, the big leaders up next. Sujata, go ahead.
The BJP cannot speak without taking the name of Mr. Rahul Gandhi, and you've seen that. So it is not about development, Mr. Kant. It's all about one man, and that's Mr. Modi. That's all you can talk about. These are state elections, local issues. You haven't spoken about that. Your promises are no promises because they are raveries, according to you. They are jumlas, according to Mr. Amit Shah. But for us, these are social welfare schemes, and we have delivered. What report card are you talking about? Mr. Raman Singh's report card, because of which he was thrown out of power. The fact is that you're only trying to set a narrative. There is no corruption, and these bags of money that you're talking about, you have money bags in your party. All the corrupt people are today.
All right,
in
everybody
your party,
accuses each
not
other of
a
having
single
money
one.
bags.
The
I suspect on this program we won't get to know any further on who actually does. But I think let's move on to a really important aspect in all of this. Personalities do drive election results in India. We've seen that in recent times at so many levels. So let's take a look at faces, the big faces, and who should be the next chief minister of Chhattisgarh. That's the question that we are looking at. This is one of the big ones. 39% say Bhupesh Baghel, the incumbent. 24% say Raman Singh. 8% say Brij Mohan Agarwal. 4% say T.S. Singh Deo. And 7% say anyone from the BJP. So that's a big one, a big gap between Bhupesh Baghel, who is the chief minister, and Raman Singh of the BJP. The party versus candidate, what matters more? 36% say it's the candidate that matters more. 32% say it's the party that matters more. That's in keeping perhaps with the previous statistic as well. The chief minister's face, 15% say that it is the chief minister's face that matters for them. 10% say that they're going to be voting in the name of Narendra Modi. 3% say that they're going to be voting in the name of Rahul Gandhi. In terms of a couple of schemes, the half electricity bill scheme, who will the beneficiaries vote for in this? 49% say the Congress party, 35% say the BJP. The old pension scheme, this has been a big demand at many levels. Who will the beneficiaries vote for? Again, it's the Congress at 46, the BJP at 35. In terms of the Godhanya Yojana, who will the beneficiaries vote for? 53% say the Congress, 32% say the BJP. Loan waivers, we briefly discussed that. For farmers, who will the beneficiaries vote for? And this is a big gap between the Congress and the BJP, 49%. This is something which the Congress has promised, and 49% say that it is something that will benefit the Congress. The Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana, who will the beneficiaries vote for? This is a central government scheme. 49% say, in fact, they'll vote for the Congress, 30% for the BJP. So this is all entirely in favor of the Congress party. And I think of all the polls that we've done so far, it does appear that people are inclined towards the Congress party, certainly on the basis of the questions that we've asked over here in this poll. The Ayushman Bharat Yojana, who will the beneficiaries vote for? 47% say the Congress, 37% say the BJP. The Ujjwala Yojana, who will the beneficiaries vote for? 48% say the Congress, 34% say the BJP. And the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, who will the beneficiaries vote for? 45% say the Congress party and 40% say the BJP. So again, irrespective of where the scheme actually comes from, people are willing to go with the Congress party over here. So let's actually look at the big one over here. And Avinash, let me come to you. There's a significant 15% gap between Bhupesh Baghel and Raman Singh. Add to that the fact that governance appears to have resonated with people. Is this combined essentially a clincher so far, at least in terms of this exit poll, for the Congress party?
Vishnu, right from the word go, Mr. Bhupesh Baghel has maintained the tempo that he is the face in all the 4.5 years. And the only challenge that he has got was from his own party colleague, T.S. Singh Deo. There has been nothing that BJP has been able to do for him. So he has maintained the tempo, he has championed the Kisans, and he has also beaten the BJP on its game of Hindutva. Many in Chhattisgarh say he is more Hindu than any other BJP Hindu could be. So be it cow scheme or anything, Bhupesh Baghel hasn't put a wrong foot forward in the last 4.5+ years. And that shows in the number that why he is the leading choice. And while we've been talking on all development issues and things that the BJP is talking, they haven't been able to develop an alternative leadership in Chhattisgarh, and that helped Bhupesh Baghel a lot. The biggest face was Mr. Raman Singh, and he was kept out of the picture for close to 4 years and 10 months. Only recently has been brought in, and that hasn't added much to their score. So Bhupesh Baghel has a clear advantage here. I don't see any challenge to him in this election.
Sanjay, 10% say that they'll vote in the name of Prime Minister Modi. Only 3% say that they'll vote in the name of Rahul Gandhi. Is that perhaps the biggest differential that the BJP is counting on in the state of Chhattisgarh, where, as you can see in so many areas, it seems to be the Congress which is ahead? It is a fact that in state after state, Rahul Gandhi just cannot match the popularity of Narendra Modi.
Vishnu, if you go by the data, we have already shown the data for Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and now for Chhattisgarh. In all the three states, it is very clear. If you try and compare Prime Minister Modi's ability to add votes for BJP, and if you match it with Rahul Gandhi's ability to pull votes for the Congress, there is a huge difference. If you look at among all the BJP voters in all the three states, roughly 18 to 20% of BJP's vote is being contributed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That's not the case with Congress. So if I look at the data in other states as well, Prime Minister Modi is roughly contributing between almost 1/4 of vote to the BJP, which is not the case with Rahul Gandhi. I'm not saying that Rahul Gandhi is a liability, but his ability, the central leadership ability to pull votes for the party in different state assembly election is put to a big question mark.
I just wanted to go across to my colleague Sunil Prabhu. Do we still have Sunil? Okay, we don't have Manisha. Maybe you might be able to take this. You know, the impact of the Bharat Jodo Yatra, 37% have said that it will not have an impact over here. Now, we've seen even in Rajasthan, it's unlikely to have some sort of a decisive impact. Is public memory short, or is that an idea, Bharat Jodo, whose time has come and gone?
I mean, you can argue it both ways. The only way that Rahul Gandhi has got traction and is able to go and do the rallies that he's able to do is because of the efforts that he made for Bharat Jodo Yatra. So certainly to establish him, it has had a role. But when you go to the people, you find that the benefits that the Bharat Jodo Yatra has had for Rahul Gandhi is not the same as saying that that's the kind of popular resurgence towards the... If you see the plus factors also, I mean, it's quite clear that Raman Singh seems to be quite ahead. Now, that quite ahead is on account of various schemes, the image that he's got, and Rahul Gandhi seems to be no longer a liability, but at least a performing asset there. So Rahul Gandhi certainly has gained with the Bharat Jodo Yatra. It's an image makeover for him. He's able to go and campaign. But as Sanjay rightly said, he may not be pulling the votes. Those votes are coming because of an incumbent chief minister in the state of Chhattisgarh being able to resolve issues. Large parts of Chhattisgarh, remember, are rural.
Yes.
So getting the farmer issue right. And it's raining bonuses. Remember, the current MSP with the central government MSP plus the state level top-up is at 2,800. The BJP then goes and tops it up to 3,100. And the Congress then says, okay, so much more. So you can see that in a sense, therefore, it's a game of top-up. The first level of 2,200 is being given by the central government. The state government gives only the 600 top-up of that. So only on the basis of top-ups, which means only by paying an additional 600 rupees, if he's been able to carve out an image for himself, I would say he's a very clever politician. In the past also, Raman Singh, for example, had been able to get an image of Chawal Baba, Chaur Baba, and played the PDS card. But I think playing the farmer card and merging it with some amount of being the Bhanja of Kaushalya and being the Chhattisgarhiya has paid off very well for Bupesh Baghel. And I think his delivery on key constituents of his state have mattered more. The BJP has a chance, but definitely by just getting...
It seems to be an uphill battle, whichever way you actually look at it. Let's take a look at the final set of data we have on this program. We started with Madhya Pradesh. We're now in Chhattisgarh. The final set of data looks at demographics. And the key socio-economic demographic factor, women and men, 42% of those who we polled said that they would actually vote for Congress. 36% said that they would vote for the BJP. As far as men are concerned, 46% said Congress, 34% said BJP. Let's reflect on this for a moment. A significant, it's a change over here compared to Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. More women voting for the Congress as opposed to the BJP, and in the case of men as well. That is quite interesting. As far as the urban-rural divide is concerned, 36% in favor of the Congress, 34% in favor of the BJP. In rural areas, 46% in favor of the Congress, 35% in favor of the BJP. Let's take a look at young people, the youth factor in the state. This is so important. 38% are in favor of the Congress. The BJP narrowly ahead. But this is typically an area where the BJP is considerably ahead lately of the Congress party. But over here, it's almost even Stevens. Among the elderly, 35% are in favor of the BJP, 50% in favor of the Congress. Let's take a look at the caste factor in these elections. If you look at the OBC community, 45% will vote for the Congress party, 37% for the BJP. If you look at upper castes, 24% Congress, 50% BJP. And finally, Dalits and tribals, 50% of Dalits in favor of the Congress party, 24% in favor of the BJP, and among tribals, 42% for the Congress, 36% for the BJP. So those are important numbers. Let me just bring in Sanjay over here. You know, upper OBCs, lower OBCs, Dalits and tribals, other than upper caste, which has clearly been dominated by the BJP, do you believe that the Congress have the caste factor in Chhattisgarh essentially wrapped up? Sanjay.
If you look at all the demographic variables, Vishnu, we figure out that it's only among the upper caste BJP is leading over Congress, but if you look at among the Dalits, among the tribals, and among the OBCs, Congress has a clear edge. And if you look at the demographics of Chhattisgarh, upper caste are roughly about say 12 to 14% of the population. So seems like Congress is safely ahead of the BJP. At least this is what the data tells us. But look at the men and the women vote. Still BJP has the lead among women if you compare the BJP's votes among the men and the women.
Yeah.
So Congress is still trailing among women if you look at the Congress vote itself.
Right.
Congress is getting more votes among the men, less among the women. BJP gets more votes among the women and less among the men. So that trend continues. The trend of BJP attracting more women vote continues across the three states.
42% women.
But 42% women. Let's just have that up again, Sanjay.
No, look at.
Let's bring that up.
Yeah,
Sanjay has a
I
point to make. Let's bring that graphic up again.
For BJP, among women, BJP is getting 36, and among men, BJP is getting 34.
Right.
So BJP still, BJP's popularity is more among women compared to men.
Right. Manisha, the Congress is ahead in both urban and rural areas. Is this a trend that's new in Chhattisgarh, to the best of your knowledge?
I mean, upper caste and urban, I would close my eyes and say BJP. I don't know what's going on here. And certainly I would say that the BJP, since the Prime Minister's popularity is intact, and, as Sanjay has said, he's a vote puller of his own, 1/4 of the votes come on account of him. But the BJP will certainly need to do a lot of things on the ground to keep that image intact amongst, the lower social castes. In urban areas also, normally the BJP doesn't have to do much because that's where their stronghold is. Okay. In the rural areas in Chhattisgarh, lots of hard work for the BJP to do in the urban areas and in the rural areas and across social castes.
All right, we've got about 1 minute left on this program, and it's only fair that we go across to our political spokespersons. So, Pratyush, there's a timer, it's in my head. I'm giving you 30 seconds, and Sujata will get 30 seconds as well. So, Pratyush, you've seen what we've had to say about Chhattisgarh. On the basis of this, is the BJP in trouble?
Well, absolutely not. We are a very Sangathan-based party. Our organization is very strong. We know exactly where to hit Baghel. We are taking it at the ground level. You people have no idea how strongly we are working in Chhattisgarh. Our cadre knows exactly what has to be told to the people, and we are doing it day in and day out. This is a very corrupt government. The development has not happened there. And we cannot imagine Baghel there for next 5 years, neither can people of Chhattisgarh. Okay. So this is what our organization is doing, our all Karyakartas are doing.
Okay, got it.
And trust me, what we have discussed here,
yes,
we are sitting in a very comfortable position in Chhattisgarh.
All right, Sujata, you had a big smile. We can end the program on your smile if you like, because I suspect I know what your answer is going. Anyway, 30 seconds quickly, please.
Yes, they are Sangatit only about one man, and we are Sangatit about the people of Chhattisgarh. And that is why it's going to be Congress or
one family.
And you have no family. Our people are our family. Chhattisgarhis are our family.
All right. Well, we'll leave it over there. I'd like to thank you all very much for joining us, both Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. Absolutely fascinating. It's not as close, perhaps, as it was in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. It seems to be headed towards the Congress. Madhya Pradesh, difficult to call. Rajasthan, far too difficult. But those were opinions that we were seeking, and hopefully you've got answers on some key questions. We are out of time. Good night.